back to a special edition of the United by Football podcast. I'm Abs.
I'm Thomas, and today we're in a special place for a special guest. We are joined by the one and only Dylan Pierias.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Anytime, brother. First of all, how's Sydney?
Yeah, it's good. Was living here a year ago, back here again. And yeah, Sydney. Walk out the hotel room, see the view and stuff, you can't complain about that.
You miss the acai shops?
No.
You don't miss the unbeatable tech shop?
No.
Someone would argue that. Someone would argue that Rudy Hill is better than Harbour Bridge.
I've seen too many TikToks, man.
What about the manouche? You missing the manouche?
I've actually never had manouche. No. A lot of people...
Matt, go outside now. Get that.
Not manouche from me, mate.
Oh, relax.
Well, that's our goal, mate. We're going to send out some manouche in the post to Adelaide. Hopefully it gets through before it goes blue.
Done.
Dylan, mate, Unite round. Give us your overall thoughts, and obviously you were involved last year with the Wanderers. How do you sort of find that, especially now travelling back into Sydney?
Yeah, no, I think the Unite round's actually a great idea. Obviously, Sydney's a good place to have it. I would like, not just saying this because I'm from Adelaide, I'd like it to be in Adelaide because I feel like it would be a good spot having every game at Cooper's. I'm not sure if you guys have been to Cooper's, but for me, it's the best stadium. And it's the perfect amount of seats. And I feel like because Adelaide doesn't really get a lot of things like concerts, things, etc., Melbourne or Sydney, where living in Adelaide, the Adelaide people are a bit more tight-knit, and anything cool that comes like Unite round, people will really G up for it. I reckon, honestly, if you had it at Adelaide, you would be getting 8,000 to sell out every game, in my opinion. There's a big football culture there, and people will just get around it because they don't have many things there. So that's why I think I would like it to be in Adelaide.
I don't blame you because they've tried to do that with Perth. I remember at one point they started sending everything up to stadium, just do concerts, just do that. And you got to take it to the city churches every now and then. But no, I don't blame you. I think Unite round as a concept is good. Sydney, for me, controversially, isn't the right place because we're a lazy city. I don't think we actually go out.
No, TV's too easy.
Because even with the...
You got everything. You got everything and you get everything. So it's like, it's not that special to have something. Like, that's what I think. So,
So I think Adelaide's a good idea. I think Perth as well. I think give them a go. Give football a go everywhere else. Clearly, I think ground roots, everyone will go to an under-11s game. But when you ask them to travel out to...
I don't know why they couldn't just change it every year. Like, why don't they just do it in a different place every year? I don't know.
Possibly it's because of that failed grand final bid. I'm not sure if you're aware of that.
Yeah.
There was something there, so we'll see what happens. But obviously, back onto Adelaide. Tell us how that sort of eventuated. Obviously, you've got a three-year deal now. Congratulations on that. What's your sort of... how did that sort of come about?
Yeah, so obviously I still had a year at the Wanderers, and I was planning to stay, and then obviously under Rudin, he left, and then Adelaide kind of just popped up interested, and it was a decision that myself and Wanderers mutually agreed to. I asked them and they were okay with it, so we mutually agreed to terminate my contract. It wasn't really in the talks at all until like Adelaide came in. So whether they wanted to get rid of me or not, I don't know. Let's just say no. But when I brought it up, they're like, okay, this is something, we're interested in, we can talk about. And then, I ended up switching over to Adelaide. I thought, obviously my missus was pregnant. So, moving to Adelaide, everyone said, great city to have a family. So that was also a thing too. Obviously I've worked under Carl before, so, I was comfortable going there. But so that's kind of how it eventuated.
Yeah, look, I think at the time as well, the Wanderers were going through a fairly transitional phase. You lost your coach, a lot of the players were leaving. I personally think it probably wasn't anything personal against you. I think they're just basically like, look, we're turning a new page. If we're going to turn a new page, we might as well just...
of course.
Whoever wants to go can go, whoever wants to stay can stay.
You even saw with the backroom staff as well.
Yeah.
A lot of them did.
But under Mark Rudan, especially at the Wanderers, how was that for you?
Yeah, I really liked it. I had him at Western United. He kind of gave me my real first opportunity in the A-League, and I thrived under him. And a lot of people have different opinions about him, but I really liked him, and I wish if he stayed, I would have still been at Wanderers. I liked him a lot.
And how does that compare to the setup now at Adelaide?
It's different. Like, Wanderers are a bigger club. With more of a budget, so it is a little bit different, but every club for me that I've been at thrives in different areas. And Adelaide, if you're talking about a family club, they've been amazing. Like I'm so happy there. Like they make you feel welcome. They look after you. But the setup at Adelaide's great. Like I'm really enjoying it.
And my next question as well. You've been playing right back this season. I like it. I've seen it, and we chatted about it the other day. I just feel like you're more free.
Yeah.
You've got space ahead of you.
Yeah.
Were you expecting that coming in?
No, obviously, like I've been a winger for a long time, but I used to play fullback. Obviously, it's fullback and winger is a position where you can change, you can transition quite easily. But I came in pre-season, I was playing left wing the whole time, and then our right back got injured, and Carl's like, "Oh, can you do a job for me there?" And I'm like, "Yeah," because it's more attacking. Like when we have the ball, we go to a 3. Like Kiddo stays more as a defender, and I'm basically a winger, basically because Cloughy plays as a 10. Yeah. So I've got that. It's basically like a wing back, not in a 5 back though. Yeah. But yeah, I'm basically like a wing back, so I've got to do both. It's a lot of work, but I was like, like. That's probably my favourite position, no problem, I'll do it. And then, I did well, and now I guess that's where I'm playing now.
We think you've been excellent, even against the Wanderers. You were basically pushing up. You were so high up.
Yeah.
You were on the edge of the opposition box for the majority of the game. In terms of a formational sense, obviously Adelaide do play with 4 at the back. Do you think personally for you, if you were to stay in that position for the whole season, would you like to see it maybe, do you think more comfortable in a back 3, obviously with you two, the left and the right back pushing really high? Do you think that's maybe
Look, I'm happy with the way we play now. But if I personally had a choice, playing a proper 5 back with playing a proper wing back, I would love that, for sure. Because now, I think Adelaide, we play quite attacking. We're high line. We want the ball. So with me so high, we take a bit of a risk. We're left exposed sometimes, I feel like. But that's the risk we take. Like when we've got the ball, I'm on the wing, man. If we lose the ball,
you have to get back.
Like I can't physically run 80 meters every time. Yeah. So sometimes we're going to be but that's the way, and I like it like that. Being in a 5 back as a proper wing back, you've got that bit more of a security of a proper 3. Your 2 6s are there. Yeah. So it's less stress.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Issa used to still win the setup as well. Javi Lopez as well. Is he still?
Yeah.
So do you reckon that's something that Viet might try if maybe injuries play a part?
Do you reckon that could be something? He's got a lot of options to be fair. We could play a proper 4-3-3. We could play a 5 back. Yep. With the type of players we have, we can be very versatile in our formation.
And I think it's a philosophy as well through Adelaide, because if you watch the women's teams last season, they were very attacking. They were on the ball all the time and they were pushing up. So I think that's kind of run through the club. Yeah. And it's starting to show that the basis of the club and what they're trying to build through there, that's the philosophy, and they're trying to push that. Now, my thing is, I think what Dylan's played at right back this season is exactly what you guys have been missing.
Oh, completely.
This year.
Absolutely.
And I think it's... What's that song called?
I have no idea, mate.
Let It Go. Let It Go. Not Let It Go from Frozen. The other one.
He's a Frozen fan.
Yeah. You don't know what you got till it's gone.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think that's the situation now. I think you're missing that fullback that can just go and apply that pressure.
But I think on the route, and correct me if I'm wrong, Dylan, but you were never asked to do that role. Is that correct?
No, it was always just proper winger. But there's a lot of I don't blame the Wanderers fans. You know, when I was playing there, I probably wasn't at my best. Yeah. There was a lot of games where I didn't play at my best, and there's a lot of reasons for that. I truly believe you can't judge a player until they're given consistent game time. I've always been a believer in that because I've been an in and out player for a long time, and it is one of the hardest things to build consistency and execution and performance if you're in 1 week, out the next week.
Mentally as well.
Mentally. And at the Wanderers, that's where I probably struggled a bit, because it was 1 week I was in and you're like, I've got to play good, because if I don't, I'm out. Then you've got that pressure. Then you're out, and then you're on the bench. You get 10 minutes. What are you supposed to do in 10 minutes? It's a very... People can judge players, but then... That's why, like I said, I will never judge a player until they are playing consistently.
Yeah, and that's in any walk of life. For example, in any job that you work in, unless you're given a proper chance, unless you feel like you've been given that time, you're not going to do well. And the other side of it is, it's like going to work and having the fear of getting fired or having the fear of losing your job the next day.
You're not going to be at your best.
No.
It's just how it is. And even at the Wanderers, Lockie Brook, he's my other best mate. Yeah. We were fighting for a position. And fair play to him, we were in and out at the start, and then he went on a mad goal run and played really well. Yeah. And then you sit on the bench, which is this is how it is sometimes. So like, I can understand how at the time Wanderers fans like definitely I copped like I know like from the RBB podcast and stuff they weren't biggest fans of me and like fans messaging me and stuff. So it is what it is. Like I could understand why they would probably say like, oh, we don't want Dylan anymore. And now they're saying, well, where was this Dylan? Well, even when we played you guys, I had fans going, why didn't you play for us like this? Or why didn't you score for us? And I'm like, they don't get like the pressure and like of being at the Wanderers as well. Like that's another thing. Like being at a big club is different, man. It's different. And like I said, if I got given that consistent game time week in week out, look at Milanovic. Yeah. Played every week and just like that. Like that can be the difference sometimes. And I could have played how I'm playing now. I could have played for that like Wanderers if not blaming anyone. This is how football goes. Yeah. So. Yeah.
Look, some people at the end of the day, and unless you see football truly for what it is, you're not going to be able to see it till they get consistent game time. Like, all jokes aside, my favourite player, in terms of Arsenal, is Kai Havertz.
Yeah.
The minute we signed Kai Havertz, I was actually excited about signing. Everyone turned around and what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Especially as a Chelsea.
Like, he could play 10 minutes and I could see what his game's about. And it goes to show, it's like, just with yourself and a few of the other boys as well, the ones last season, I couldn't blame them.
Yeah.
I'm like, I see how much potential you've got. You're just not given the chance, and the fans are, pardon my French, they're too fickle.
Yeah, yeah.
Some people are just too fickle, and they don't see football for what it is.
That's like how I felt with the Wanderers fans, and this is probably a lot of fans around the country. You're as good as your last game with these fans. You play good one week and score. Oh yeah, I love him. He's this good. Next week you're bad. I want him out. He's bad. Like that's not a good way to look at players. Like you can't do that. Like you're not going to play fantastic every single game. Yeah. Like unless, sorry about that. Unless you're.
It's Colby calling the meeting.
Yeah, unless you're. Just turning my phone off.
That's right.
Unless you're a real football fan and understand footballers.
Yeah.
Look, if you've got a player started every game 90 minutes and he's still not producing, okay, then you can understand. But until the player gets consistent game time, playing week in, week out, then I don't think you have the right to judge a player.
Completely. But in terms of that as well, I think I've personally worked for the club and been around that club since its foundation, 2012. I think because we've been starved of success for so long, I think the fans have this so high expectation of players that come in instant success, instant straight away. Yeah. And I personally feel sorry for the likes of yourself and the likes of a lot of players that have come in and naturally you need as I was saying, any walk of life, you need a good run of form. Yeah. And I think that's why, personally, in our opinion, you're playing the best football in your life.
Yeah,
in Adelaide.
That's true. Yeah.
Is that down to Colby yet, or is that down to how Adelaide in general has welcomed you, your family, your new baby girl?
I think it's there's so many combinations of it. Like obviously the birth of my daughter 10 weeks ago, moving to Adelaide and loving it. Obviously Carl putting his belief in me. Then you've got I played every single preseason game, started every single preseason game. That's another thing I've never had in my career.
Wow.
I've never had that ever. So. We played, I think, 14 games. So I had 14 starts before the season.
For a first competitor.
You know what I mean? That's a big thing too. And then you keep playing, you keep getting picked. Carl's a man of few words, I would say. But he shows his trust and belief. If you're in the starting 11, that's enough. Yeah. A coach doesn't need to say much more to you. Yeah. But I think that's all those reasons I just said is why I could be playing some of my best football right now. There's a lot of things that can play into it, but
trust and confidence goes a long way.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like even with what you were saying before, with the starvation of success, I support a few teams across different codes that are like that. I'm a Blue supporter. I'm also an Arsenal supporter. You're a Man United supporter. We understand that. Like for example, there's a young coach that's come in, Cameron Serraldo. People were doubting him from the start. Yeah, he had a shit first season and a half, but you could see what he's trying to do from the get-go. But at the same time, the fans are so fickle about it, and they get so frustrated because they've been starved of that for a while.
Yeah, that's being at a big club too. Like that's the thing. Like you've got to be the right type of player to go to a big club and have that mentality. Like I definitely, in the A-League, it's a bit less than Europe, but I definitely felt the difference from going from Western United to Western Sydney. Yeah. Like I felt that big club shift, like
presence.
just even putting the Wanderers jersey on, it means something special.
We've heard that from
you know what I mean? Like I remember my first game against Wellington. That was the first time in a long time I was shitting myself.
Yeah.
Like to play, I was like, oh my god, like I'm playing for the Wanderers, man. Like this is wow. Like you feel that as a player sometimes.
Hypothetically as well, I mean, having a year under your belt, a year of experience, a year obviously life experience as well. Let's say hypothetically, you do go back to maybe the Wanderers or a club of that stature. Do you think you'd be more equipped with tools to sort of say to yourself, and okay, I'm less nervous, I've been there, I've done that before, I'm more experienced. Do you reckon that?
100%. Yeah, like 100%. Like obviously I played at Melbourne City.
Massive
They're a big club, but you know I was young. I hardly played. Like I was a young boy there, scholarship play. It's not the same as when you go to a club and you're a proper player now.
Yeah.
And yeah, like definitely now if I went to a Victory, a Sydney, Wanderers or Melbourne City again, like I would definitely be more equipped of how to deal with like those bigger clubs. Yeah.
Look, you know, Adelaide in their own right.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Adelaide, like are actually a big club in terms of if you're talking like history.
Original derby.
You know, the type of players that have played there. Like Adelaide's, it's not a small club.
No.
You know, like it's not no disrespect. It's not disrespect to like you know MacArthur, smaller club, brand new. Western United, Newcastle Jets. Like these are smaller clubs. Right. No disrespect or anything. That's just how it is. Where Adelaide, I think they fit in the middle.
Yes.
In the middle.
Correct me if I'm wrong. They won it in 2016.
Yeah.
They beat the Wanderers.
Yeah. They beat the Wanderers.
The Wanderers haven't won it.
Adelaide over. Yes.
Mate, get over that, mate. It happened 10 years ago.
Unfortunately, I can't, to be honest.
Yeah, but I was going to say in terms of, you know, you look at the fans, the Wanderers at the RBB. You look at Sydney FC, they're at the Cove. You know, even yesterday at the women's game that I was at, the Phoenix fans in the 80th minute, shirts went off, and like they were literally there in the corner and they travelled. You feel that difference.
Yeah, 100%.
Because how's the Red Army?
Yeah, it's good. Like the Red Army, like obviously they're like our active support, kind of, I guess. But I think the fans in like we got 11,000 last week. Yeah, like it was great. They Adelaide. You know, on when we versus Victory, the boys were saying I haven't experienced, but when we play Victory, there will be 14,000. It'll be packed, Coopers. Like the atmosphere in there, their fans, they're grouse, man.
Is that 15 capacity?
Yeah, I think it's 15. Yeah, max.
That goes back to what you said before, though, is because Adelaide are starved of that kind of. You know, you don't have much. You really only got that. You've got Port Adelaide, you've got Adelaide Crows, and Adelaide United.
Yeah.
They will go to games.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
100%. No, like. Getting 10,000 plus every week, it's pretty good. Like in the A-League, like that's a good crowd, man. Like, that's like this is like wondrous. Like I'm a big A-League fan, like massive. I love the A-League to bits.
Yeah.
Like seeing Wanderers how they used to be to now, it hurts me. Like that hurts me. Even Victory, when I was a Victory fan when I was younger, and anything under 20, I was like, oh, this is bad. Now Victory, I think they averaged 13 last year. Like it's a big drop off, man.
Massive.
Like.
Massive.
It's just it's like I like in a way I love every club like because I love the A-League. Like when we come to play you guys a few weeks ago, I was hoping there was a big crowd. Like I just love that stuff. Like
my return, get ready.
Yeah, you know. But it's just how it is now.
My question to you: I'll give you the general manager's hat of the A-League. What would you do from a player's perspective?
He's under contract, just be
to help grow the game in terms of getting people to the games.
That's whoever can figure this out will be a billionaire. Whoever can figure out how to grow the A-League. Yeah. But for me, like if I just had to rattle some things off, we have to have some kind of presence in the government. Because let's be honest, football in Australia, we get shut on all the time. We get the least, like rowing gets more funding than us. Come on, man. Like no disrespect to rowing, but
paddleball as well.
That's what I'm saying. And we have the most participants in kids in any other sport. Correct. And let's be honest, the AFL, they don't want us to go anywhere. Let's just call it how it is. Yeah. And unless we get some big dog or some presence that can have government
voice
influence, we're not going to go anywhere. And that's I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
I've got something stuck in my throat. No, but like banning, like even they banned the march today. Why? Okay. In Melbourne or in Sydney, you're allowing people to protest about Palestine and all this with drums and flares, but not football.
Correct.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't understand.
Yeah.
Like, they say, oh, we can't control it. But you're allowing that and controlling that.
Yeah.
But when it's anything to do with football, which, by the way, isn't coming from a bad place. No. They're marching with drums. Yeah. Drums. Yeah. They banned the drums on the march. Yeah. Like Steph Mork tweeted about it. I don't know if you saw it. He said that exact same thing. Like, that's what I mean in how the government and everything just...
At the end of the day, I get it. You want to separate politics from football, but at the same time, you know, you're looking at football as a vehicle of violence when it comes to active support and everything. When really it's not. No. Just because you've got 200 people walking down the street with drums and flares and everything, they're trying to give life to something that is kind of, let's be honest, is on its way down.
But Abs, just on that point, obviously being from European background as well, some would say the birthplace of football. I think Australia in general, Australia in general, I don't think they have never understood, back to the NSL days, I don't think they've never understood the passion that football comes out of us. No. It's weird.
Or the atmosphere that football should be.
Correct.
They don't get it.
And the generation that came here was the lifeblood of that. And of course they're going to pass that. That's just human instinct. They're going to pass what they know to their kids and to those kids. But unfortunately with us, we've been this fear mongering that if you show that, okay, there's going to be repercussions. There's going to be jail time, banning from stadiums. How's that going to affect the next generation?
But that's what I mean. That's just the AFL government connection, because they've got massive connections in there that they want to be the biggest sport and they'll do anything. Mate, there's so many stats that have come out that there's more punch-ons at AFL games.
NRL.
It's just fact. It's just fact. But, just no one in Australia wants football to do well.
Look, at the end of the day, I think it's further than just the football thing. I think as a country here, we're very laissez-faire. If there's an issue that's overseas or issue here or issue there, they don't care.
Yeah.
Unless it's in their face problem, they don't want it. Now, they're trying to put out a fire with the active support. Even when you said with the Palestine protests, they're trying to shut a lot of that down. We have a freedom of voice here in Australia. You know, we're meant to be able to speak our minds.
Yeah.
Okay. When it comes to protesting whatever you want, and I wouldn't even call a march a protest. It's a march. I'm hyped up for a game.
Yeah, what protest? That's true, man.
What are we protesting against?
It's honest. There's no difference between them marching with flares and Dylan doing a kilometre walk to the stadium with a fucking speaker.
Yeah, it's true. But also too, like, there's a lot of things we can blame, and there's some big problems we just talked about. But also we've got to look at our own fans too. Also, the NPL fans, I feel like, I don't know, but the NPL doesn't like the A-League. It's just simple as that.
Yeah.
Like, as simple as that. And I know I've got a lot of friends that play NPL, a lot of people, they just don't care about the A-League.
Yeah.
And that's just how it is.
Hopefully, do you reckon the NSL coming in this?
Yeah, that's going to change everything.
Do you reckon it will?
Yeah, 100%.
In terms of what impact?
Okay, so South Melbourne, Preston, Sydney United, all these teams, they come to the second division. When there's promotion relegation, you think South Melbourne fans, knowing they could get promoted, aren't going to start, who's going to get relegated in the A-League? You think they're going to start watching the A-League? Of course they are. Yeah. There's an interest right there, connection. South Melbourne or Sydney United can get into the A-League through promotion. Yeah. Of course they're going to watch the league above them to see what's happening, what's going on here, who we're going to play.
Does that bring up, though, the next issue where behind governance, I think the second biggest issue is eyes on it, viewability, free-to-air TV.
Yeah.
That Channel 10 Paramount, okay, we understand. I can't even hear sometimes the commentary, for God's sake. But my question to you is, besides that, how do we sort of get eyes on the league? Is it radio? Is it marketing? Is it media?
That's another big thing, and we did a big thing with the PFA, the players, and all the players got together and we put in our 5 things we want to see change, like what we want the PFA to do to make
When was this? Sorry, my apologies.
Early this pre-season.
Wow.
And we, the PFA went to every club, and as Adelaide United, we got into groups and wrote down what we need to see, what we want to see better. And one of the biggest things was marketing. That, like, I know when the A-League starts because I play in it.
True.
I did not see one billboard, not one commercial, not too many people that are friends, family, whatever, distant people, they might go, like, that know me. Oh, so have you season started yet? I'm like, yeah, it's like round 4. Like, oh, really? I didn't even know. Like, that happens. Ask every other football. That happens all the time. So that's one of the things that I think you need money. This is the thing, but the marketing has to be better. Like, there's a lot of people that don't even know the A-League starting that probably would go to a game. It's just, that's just how it is.
Look, it also goes back, I think when you want to look at marketing, I think the NRL do the best.
Yeah,
Get the AFL. I think the NRL do the best. What have they done the last 2 seasons? I know they've got more money. They've sent the 2 games, 4 teams to Vegas. Okay? Yeah, they're doing it for a bit of a money grab.
Someone say out of desperation.
But the promotion with that is insane. Now, you've signed the marquee player. We've signed Douglas Costa. You've signed Juan Mata. Okay. You look at when you sign a marquee player from what country you've signed them from. There's nothing wrong with going to that country in the first round. Let's just say you sign a big Chinese player. Take the first game of the first season to China. You know, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, it's true. You're right. That's definitely something they can do. But then it goes down to as well, football's always on the last page of the newspaper. Always 10 seconds on the news.
Little column,
You know, and that's where I'm saying, this is where my biggest point. You want to change the game, we need a big presence in the government. Because the government and the news outlets are connected. The government, that someone goes, put football. Simple as that. Like,
I'll be honest with you, I think the second division coming in is going to change that. They're not going to change. Marconi, Sydney United, Rockdale, like all these teams that we've watched last season, their fans aren't going to change. And they're not going anywhere now. I'll be honest with you.
They got a platform.
If they've cleaned themselves, when I say clean themselves up, I mean like tidied up everything in terms of governance. They're not doing anything wrong. If their fans are going to turn up every week,
100%,
and they're going to be doing more numbers than a lot of these A-League teams.
Look at Preston. They were getting 3,000 every game. Like that's more than some A-League clubs, man. Like and like they're in the NPL. What have they got to play for? Like the same stuff every year. Now they can get promoted. Oh my god! Like imagine Victory versus South Melbourne. It'd be massive, man. Massive. Western Sydney versus Sydney United. Like you got to think about that's crazy stuff.
Olympic versus FC.
Oh look,
that's what I mean.
Like even with me, like I went to a few Marconi games last season, and we went to the NPL final. The Rockdale away section was pretty much filled out. Tom Wilkowski scores. He goes up to them, and you see that fire. You only see that with the RBB.
But my only concern is that if you bring that with a bit more limelight, are they going to get victimised as well?
Mate,
probably, but
that's the next problem.
That's what I think could be the catalyst to what you're talking about in terms of having a spot in that government section. Because
we can only hope,
bro. I call it a big ugly family divorce with the FA and the APL.
You should study law, mate.
I tried to.
That's another whole nutshell.
That's what.
Just quickly before we go on, move away sort of from that governance point, because again that could be a 3-hour podcast, and obviously Dylan has a game today if you're not aware.
So I'm just really passionate. I'm honestly just so passionate.
We love it, honestly, and hopefully we can get you on again to sort of delve into that further. Just quickly as well, obviously you're aware of Mark Bosnich and stuff like that. We saw a column from him and I was shocked by it. Do you know why the Socceroos don't have a home stadium?
Honestly, no.
So his biggest thing as well, and I was shocked when you said it as well, his number one advice to fix football in this country is to get a party for football where people can vote for it. Sort of like in the Senate, an independent, not a House representative sort of style, but where people can actually fund it, people can vote for it, and God willing, if it's the most played sport, you don't reckon it's going to get votes?
Of course, yeah.
Of course it is. So
yeah.
If that goes there, then the Socceroos get a home. People travel.
You
get voices. You get eyes on the A-League. Suddenly we've got something here.
Yeah,
it's true.
I think the other side to it. So our current Minister of Sport is Steve Kemper.
Yeah.
Okay.
New South Wales context.
New South Wales context. So he's our current Minister of Sport, and he loves sport. He genuinely loves the sport, and he also understands. I've been fortunate enough to have a few conversations with him. He also understands that what the A-League are doing isn't also functional. Part of it's on the A-League, part of it's on the APL, part of it's on, even on the NPL's club side of stuff. But at the same time, it's kind of, you got to give and take. You got to have a functioning, you got to build that trust. I don't think there's enough trust between any sort of football federation here and the government. I think Football Australia do well with their job. Bro, they're selling out a Matilda's game on a Monday. At Acor.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay.
That's a whole different kettle of fish. That's a movement behind them.
That's a whole different.
They got a lot of Matildas that blown up. They're more popular than Socceroos.
Oh, really? Without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
Right. I interviewed Tamiki Alapis after the game.
Yeah.
I went to check her Instagram after. 68,000 followers. I'm like, it's actually insane how big their following is. And even with some of the content that we've put out, any Matilda stuff, women's football stuff just goes boom.
Interesting,
And
it's great.
That's amazing.
You learn to love it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we're not spending half the time at Jubilee this weekend for no reason. At the end of the day, we've learned to love and appreciate it. But I also think we need to figure the men's side out. Because
100%, yeah.
Completely. Just quickly as well, I know this is a question that we sort of had off script, but Adelaide, obviously last year, you had the Irukunda factor, you had the Joe Gauchi factor.
Yeah.
What's Viet's message now in terms of how do we not sort of get to that level with you got 3 or 4 superstars, because I don't think you're in a position for that except for Zaki Clough, brilliant player.
Yeah.
What's your sort of goal in terms of season-wise?
We want to win it. I think that's a definitely, it's hard for me to say because I've just come, so I don't know what really the mentality was last year. But what I've seen, that it wasn't really a mentality of we want to win the championship. But this year, we've brought in Ernest from PSV, and he's really amazing. He's really driving this new mentality of we want to win this. You either you want to win or you don't. And we want to be a club that wants to be a winner now. So we whether people doubt it or whatever, we're doing all right at the moment. But we believe our mentality is we want to win it. And with anything, you shoot here, you'll fall here. You shoot here, you'll fall here.
You have to have goals. You have to have expectations.
You know what I mean? So, and I think Central Coast has done so well with them winning it and everyone doubting them. And you don't need the biggest players you just need the right fit, the right coach, the right mentality, the right culture that can win you something. But at the end of the day, you can have a team of superstars, but it doesn't always work necessarily. Yeah.
And talking about that mentality, you're Melbourneian yourself. Luke Beveridge.
From
the
Bulldogs.
The Western Bulldogs coach. He came in 2015, young coach. He was about 36, 37. Yeah. He had the exact same mentality. Came in with a young team. Mind you, we had about 4 or 5 draftees over there, which were kids. They've come in, drove that mentality within a year.
You've got some amazing cross-code references.
I'm telling you. But it's the exact same philosophy. We went from a team that didn't play finals for about 5 years to a team that by the end of it won a premiership, played finals, I think, 4 of the next 6 years after that, and made another grand final. It's all dependent on that mentality.
Of course.
I think if you don't have that mentality, and if let's say you walk in, we aim for 4th this year. Yeah. The minute I hear a coach say, we're aiming for top 4, I'm like, nah.
Ask something special.
Calm down, mate. You support Chelsea.
Just obviously, in terms of the young Socceroo setup, you're involved, and obviously going to the Olympics in 2020, 2021 at Tokyo. Obviously working under Ufuk, Viet, Arnie, bringing it back to a Sydney context, how do you think Sydney FC, obviously speaking about Ufuk, how do you think he's going to have a role, obviously maybe in tonight's derby and obviously for their season?
Yeah, Ufi's a great coach. When I had him, I loved him, and he's got a great balance, I feel like, of being relaxed and chill, and then being serious and demanding, and he's got high standards. And I think Sydney FC should be wrapped with him as a coach, and you can see the way they play. Sydney are going to be hard to beat this year, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think we were unlucky with a few games.
For sure. But it's early doors still. I think over the whole season they're going to be a tough. I'm probably worried about them the most, to be honest.
It's the balance. I don't know how they've managed to just keep building and building and building. The midfield for me between Wahim and Senna is just. Bro. It's insane.
Senna?
What a player.
And mind you, he's not much of a goal scorer, but if he adds that to his game.
It's funny, I watched him when he first played, I'm like, he's him. This guy.
Control.
Yeah. I remember I did the video for you, and I said that was Costa. I want to change.
Wow, okay. From Brazilian to the other.
Costa for me, I'd expect him to have the biggest impact. For me, it's Klimala. The striker. He is a gun.
Bro, how many plays do these guys have,
young, man? So young as well.
Caceres.
And mind you, I don't think we're functioning with a proper 6. Not like an out-and-out proper 6 yet. And that back line for me, they're all young as well. Aside from Ryan Grant, Courtney Perkins is one of the player.
He's a machine.
Hayden Matthews. I call him Starboy.
Another machine.
Yeah.
Alright, do you know how quick he is?
Hayden Matthews.
I'm telling you, man. Last year when we played, I remember, I'm known for my pace. I think I'm one of the fastest players in the league. And the ball got played over the top, and I'm sprinting, man. And he's staying with me, and I'm thinking, what's going on here?
This isn't how it normally goes.
It's not normally how I feel against the centre back, mate. This guy, he's I rate him.
Do you reckon that's because of the stride? height, maybe
he's just got a great physique. Yeah. Like he's strong, he's quick.
Got a great frame, I think. Personally,
yeah.
He looks like a centre back.
He's going to be a good player.
And I'm so happy that Popper picked him.
Yeah.
Caceres got his chance. I'm happy for him as well.
A bit late, some would say as well.
Yeah. But when Hayden Matthews got called up, I was over messaging him like, bro, like fucking congrats. Like, no, honestly, he's my favourite Sydney player.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
Because you look at, players that have come through the academy, you look at players that, come through young. Centre back's not an easy position to come through as an 8.
That's a position that you'd always said is always experienced players. Yeah. Like you can always bring on a young winger, a young fullback, even a young midfielder. Yep. But like centre back, that's kind of like that role. It's like you don't mess with that.
Never change your back line.
Yeah.
Just lastly, back to a Socceroos context for you. Obviously, yourself being involved in that Olympics, the young Socceroos. Where do you see yourself? Let's say this form keeps up. God willing, it does, and I think it does in this new role that you're experiencing. What's your goal? What's your trajectory? Do you reckon that you could get back into that Socceroos fold?
Yeah, I think especially that right back and Popper's been playing with wing backs.
You've got Gary.
I think it's open there. I've got a long way to go, and I've got to play very, very well and keep the consistency. But I do see a bit of a light there for me. Good. I have goals, as every player should be. I think I can play Socceroos. Like I believe I can. Whether the viewers probably don't, but. That's just me. Yep. You got to believe, or else you won't achieve anything. But seeing how how many new players Popper's picking, especially now he's playing with wing backs, I see an opening for me. Yeah.
Look, at the end of the day, pardon my French, who gives a fuck what they think?
Yeah, of course, no, it's true, it's true. Yeah.
They support. Obviously, no matter what walk of life, whether it's playing or us talking on the microphone, people that support you, people that hate on you. At the end of the day, they're both driving you to where you want to go.
100%, yeah.
And before we move on to the last conversation, I want to go back to that goal against Wanderers. Caught our reaction live. I swear to God, I have never had a smile from ear to ear as much when he banged it against his freaking dirty, ugly club.
Oh, relax.
No, man. Talk us through that. Yeah. It was coming towards you. You just went.
Yeah, no, like...
Did you think?
No, not really. That's the best way when you don't think. It just came out to me and all I thought was, oh, shoot. And, I just remember thinking, like, don't sky this. And I kind of, like, if you see, I actually don't hit it that hard.
No.
I just, hit it clean. Yeah. And it just has that dip. And, I was... Like, a lot of people said, oh, that's mad, scoring against Wonder. I'm like, yeah, okay, I used to play for them. Yeah. But honestly, was just thinking, I'm so happy I scored.
Yeah. What was the celebration? Because there was a bit of running. Was that
second goal.
Yeah, correct.
The second goal, I did turn to the RVB a bit when that. But, that's more... that was probably more, it's more... For me, it was more of a banter thing. Mm-hmm. Because, I guess from them, I didn't get, the greatest rap. So I was a bit more of stick it up, a little bit.
But you know what? Credit to you. Yeah. Because for you, you've got every right. You've moved on. You're there. Maybe you do come back, whatever. But I don't personally think that you burn any bridges there.
No. I love Wanderers. I didn't leave in bad terms. I really liked it. I would definitely would play for the Wanderers again one day. It's not I hate that place. I loved it there. Yep. It was more for me. It was it was just more of a banter thing.
Yeah, 100%. And look, obviously people are going to give you there was between you. I think Clisby this season is the poor brother. He's been copping it as well. He could just take
love
wrong.
Clisby, by the way. Shout out to Clisby.
We love Jack.
He looks like a great man, but RBTV unfortunately has been relentless.
They are ruthless.
But I remember a game last season. I believe it was Western United, and we came out of that game. A few people giving you flack. I remember we turned around that day. I genuinely said it. I said, I see the effort he's putting in. I see, he just needs time because you had Blocky Brook was killing it. Yeah. Milanovic in there. Yeah. Barella was coming back from injury, and yourself. You had to fight for minutes.
Yeah, it was tough, man. Look at those players. They're all unbelievable players. It was a tough lineup to get into, man. It's not easy.
Even in Derby as well. When you had that chance, he hit it on the volley, and it just bounced shy of that left far post going on.
Yeah, that's what I mean. This is the funny thing in football. Yeah, I score that. You play the next week.
Whole career change.
Confidence. Yeah. One goal can change your everything. Yeah. It's just that's how crazy. When they say football's a game of inches, it actually is. Yeah.
Life changes in a matter of moments.
Yeah.
My last question. You're a new dad.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
Yeah. Obviously, it's amazing. other fathers out there would understand. Maybe not you boys just yet, but
Not rushing to that decision.
yeah, it's it's the
Got to
best.
find a wife first then,
Yeah,
mate.
yeah,
You're single too, mate.
yeah.
No, so just say.
Back to
Yeah, it's the best thing in the world. Like me and my partner Ella, like it's yeah, I don't even know what to say. Like it's amazing. Like every day, no matter how bad my day's going, when I go home and see my daughter, like you just forget about everything and you realise why you do everything for her. Like yeah, it's just amazing. Yeah, there's some things that change and your life, you know, is not so convenient anymore, and then you miss out on doing your selfish things, but it's all worth it. Yeah.
Just on behalf of us, first of all, thank you for coming to the podcast.
No
Seriously,
worries.
thank you, honestly. And we've got our sponsor. He's actually decided to just give you something to
awesome.
yourself and your family. And
I appreciate that.
That's from us. If you want to open it later off screen, and that's just
thanks,
something from
guys.
us.
No, I appreciate
Thank
that.
you to Lightweight Athletic, obviously as well. They're based in Preston's in New South Wales. They haven't got one in Adelaide, Dylan, but we'll have a chat and make sure they make it down to Wade Adelaide. But if you just want to quickly hold that up just to our camera over there, just to, there you go, Lightweight, we've done our job.
Thanks. Thanks,
Dylan,
guys.
just on behalf of us, thank you so much. Best of luck for today as well.
Thank you.
Can we get a quick score prediction? I'm not sure if you're superstitious in that way.
Not really, but I'm predicting 3-1.
Your way, obviously.
Oh yeah, of course.
On the score sheet, assist maybe, or?
1 goal, 2 assists.
Ooh,
to assist.
love it.
I've got Dylan on the score sheet tonight.
If you're a betting man, what's the odds?
$20. What's that paying? What would it be paying? About $4 probably.
Something like that. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, you don't bet. So
thank you.
we don't want to get into that conversation.
Thank you once again.
No, thank you guys for having me.
We have been United by Football. I've been Thomas.
I mean, abs.
And special guest,
Thanks, guys.
your name is?
Oh, Dylan.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Thank you.
It's so easy.